call to order the commission, the Oxford Area Cable Communications Commission meeting for September 20th, 2021. Stand and pay our respects to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call.
Public,
Here.
Sotheby, here, Geibel,
Here.
Dunn,
Here.
Helmut, here.
Item 4, approval of the agenda, pages 1 through 2.
I'll move to approve.
Support.
We have a motion that's been supported. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public comments on items not on the agenda. Seeing none. Approval of the minutes from July 26th of 2021.
I'll move to approve.
Support.
It's been moved and it's been supported. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 7, the bill review. A, expense bill review run on pages 5 through 12.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills in the amount of $38,322.86.
I'll second that.
Page 8.
Did we get the right total? Oh, okay,
38,332.86.
okay. We have a motion and then it's been supported. Roll call.
Geibel,
Yes.
Helmut, yes. Sotheby,
Yes.
Helmut,
Yes.
Dunn,
Yes.
7B, year-to-date revenue and expense report.
I'll make a motion to receive and file 7B and C.
support.
We have a motion to support 7B and C. I do have a question on, is C, or, no, okay, I will go. We have a motion and it's been supported. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Wait a second, I may have screwed up my question 16, 17. Yeah, it did. There's a item that I have a question on, just because I'm not sure why it's there, for heat.
Heat?
That heat. It says utilities heat.
Oh.
We didn't have anything budgeted for it, but there's activity on it.
Right.
It's got, above it says utilities, electric, building. Underneath says utilities, heat.
I will check that out. There's recently been a revision to all of the, or most, well, all of the account numbers. So this one might have slipped through. I'll check with Sumitomo on that.
So you're saying that shouldn't even be there?
I'm not sure. I don't know for sure.
I don't know what you need to heat this on.
It may still be under,
Well, I would imagine
An old code.
they're using more than $300 worth of heat during the winter months.
right.
I'm guessing, unless it's that efficient. But there was nothing budgeted for it.
Right. I will check that out.
But there is an expense, or expenses were applied to it.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna make sure I remember this the next time. All right, 8A, Oakland County Investment Pool Report, page 19 for review. Any questions?
I make a motion, we receive and file.
Support.
We have a motion to receive and file. It's been supported. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Manager's report.
Yes, sir. Our staff is running without a hitch. One of our employees left to direct the musical, but we hired another employee to replace him. Just for information, at the last football game, home game, we had over 800, now 948 now, stream viewers on the game and several hundred viewers on YouTube and Facebook. Important. Spinning out a little bit of the manager's report. It's now 1,170 viewers now, but the point is, these stream right now are done with equipment by the high school, but our equipment puts it on the air. That's 1,100 viewers. People have talked before, we have no viewers, we have Facebook at 200 point, 100 point, 10 points. That 1,170 is the viewers on live. Those are the ratings that we have. Same thing Nielsen have and everybody else. That shows you the viewers that we have on OCTV. That's first important for me. It kind of gives me goosebumps to see the kind of numbers like that. That's the manager report.
That was specific to the football game, though, right?
Correct, correct.
And that was streamed live, right?
Stream? Yes, ma'am.
Item 9A, we have no unfinished business. 10A, new business. I visited the station, walked around with, and met with Bill and Terry, and we went through their immediate needs and wants for equipment in the station. The equipment, for the most part, in the station is old and outdated. And there should have been some probably movement on changing some of this stuff out a few years ago, but this is where we're at. And I'll let Terry or Bill discuss the equipment needs for the studio and review their 3-year plan.
So everybody has a copy of that plan, right? I guess I'm gonna ask if there's any questions on that first. I tried to break it down to what we needed per studio, per field shoots, which there's more field shooting than studio always, although our studio shooting is starting to pick up. Joe's got a plan for another program. We've added 2 more programs in the last, say, 4 months that we shoot right in the studio, along with one I've been doing forever for the chamber and our news. So that, like Ed said, that equipment is starting to break down. The last time we had an overhaul on our equipment was right after Bill and I took over, after Ken left. And it gets a lot of use. So I put this list together on the stuff that we need now, immediately, and then the 3-year. I guess I don't know what else to say.
I've got some questions.
Except for the biggest priority is, our playback equipment. That is just a given. It's got to be done. And there's money in the bank for it. It's got to be done. It's long overdue. Go ahead.
How did we get here? What I'm trying to say is, shouldn't the manager be able to replace equipment that's required to run the station? I'm asking the board. Without coming to the board all the time. What type of money? We talking hundreds of dollars, millions of dollars? What I'm saying is, at what point can a manager just go ahead and replace some equipment?
I've asked that question a few times.
A couple months ago, we put a dollar amount limit on it.
We did. That's
I guess
why
that's
I
where-
finally,
Yeah.
I finally asked, and because I said, why do we hire these individuals if they're not going to have the authority to go out and buy what they need?
Now that being said, They could have come to us 3 months ago and said, hey, we need to buy this $40,000.
I'm not disputing
Right.
that.
But yeah, they can't just go spend $40,000.
No, I didn't,
Yeah.
I'm talking about buying pencils or
Well, I don't see
$500
here.
lens
Well,
or,
can I interject? We paid cash for our studio, and so we were pretty low on our cash for a while. The reason why we're ahead right now, there's several reasons, but the biggest one is the last year and a half, we haven't had a lot of events to shoot because of COVID. We also didn't have hardly any employees because of COVID. We saved a lot of money because of that. In the future, who knows what's going to happen. Again, things are picking up. We're looking at a regular schedule as far as concerts are concerned with the school, which fills us up completely in November and December. We're looking at full board sports, which we didn't have last year, so we're picking up. We also had to hire a new camera person, and then Joe will be gone for
3 weeks.
3 weeks. He's working on a film in Flint. So, all that to say, we didn't have a lot of money after we built that studio, and we're building it back up again.
But one of the things though that came into my mind, and you can tell me if I'm wrong or not, but did you guys not put a lot of faith and fell back on the shoulders of Elgin when things went wrong, because he was so knowledgeable about this equipment that he could go in and fix a lot of this stuff?
He did?
And we were only paying him, what, 12, 14 bucks an hour?
Yep.
Yeah,
So we were very lucky to have Elgin.
but he's
We
no
had
longer
to
with you.
Exactly. We
So
had to
Elgin
send,
is not there to fall back on.
correct. And so we have had to send cameras out for repairs now, and it's getting expensive. It would just make more sense to replace cameras, hence the 3-year plan and the immediate plan.
is there any way, if I could,
Yeah.
so the 3-year replacement goal, the page, is there any way we could put, which one's more important to the least important?
Priorities. On the 3-year,
Yeah,
I could.
Could we
I mean,
stick with the immediate one first, though? I have questions on the immediate one. What's the life expectancy of some of this equipment? We
Okay.
spent the playbacks, when are we gonna need another one?
The life expectancy, from what I hear talking to other public access managers, is about 10 years. We're working on 15 on this one. Because we just didn't have a chunk of $40,000.
I thought you told me 17.
If you look, I haven't given that out. It's 40 to replace the whole thing, and that's what it says on the immediate.
The playback system.
Mhm.
I thought that was the heart of the TV station.
It is.
So why wouldn't you want to replace it?
We do. We have the money now.
let's do it.
Good.
We need a request.
So I also have 2 pieces of playback equipment that I've done research on that I could give to you all. I have copies of it, explaining them and the difference. It might be just a boring read to you guys, but they both run about $38,000 to $40,000.
Who else in the area is using it?
So the one that I'm leaning towards, CMN, which is down in Rochester, is using it, Lake Orion's using it, and Clarkston, which is why I'm leaning towards that. Lake Orion's had it for about 3 or 4 years from Joe. And so if I have any issues or
Right,
we have
that makes
issues,
sense.
I can lean on that. The other system, I think it might be a little bit simpler. It depends on who's going to be running it, which might be an issue. The only station I know of that's using it is in Battle Creek, which we went over and looked at. It looks like a pretty simple system. Like I said, I'm leaning towards the one, and that one has a vendor from Novi. This one has a vendor that we've been using for years. It's Advanced Lighting. We bought our TriCaster from him, and he's in Troy.
Is he reliable if you call him for support?
Yeah, he is. So we have to pay for a certain amount of support. After that, we're kind of on our own, which is why, and that's with any system we purchase. That's why also I would prefer to purchase a system that I know people in the area. I know Clarkston people, I know Lake Orion people. I can get to know the CMN people, they've changed hands. That system, I got an estimate today, is $39,234. That's without warranties. Warranties are another
1,000 or 100?
1,000.
Warranties?
Well, okay, so there's warranties on different pieces of equipment, hardware. There's also warranties on software. We don't have to purchase all those warranties.
What do they warranty for with the purchase?
You know, I'd have to look at it.
Joe's got
It was 1 year.
1 year.
I think so.
So
Joe said
you get at least a year.
And it's an annual hardware assurance for $1,600. For 2 years, that's $3,200. So it's 2 years for $3,200. Hardware assurance for Cablecast for the whole system is $1,800. Annual hardware assurance for 3 years. Shoot. On one piece of equipment is $540, and I'd have to give you the breakdown of the equipment. And then annual software maintenance is $390 a year, and I can purchase it up to $3,000.
Did you have a
And
question,
those,
Karen?
from what I understand,
Karen
are
wants a question.
negotiable. Okay.
And I have 2 questions. So the first question is, how much is available in the budget line item for this type of equipment? What do we have available now?
Dave will have to answer that. I don't know. That's not my purview.
Well, it's in the
What's on the
package.
bank? That's out of the bank, right?
In the bank.
Out of the bank.
Right, I'm just wondering, is there 70,000 in the bank and we're spending 69,800 of it? Or,
There's,
We got 280,000 plus in the bank right now.
okay,
That's what it said back here, 280.
okay. And then my second question is, so if the lifespan of that main equipment that you're talking about is 10 years, what happens, even if you bought the 2-year warranties, then you just pay for repairs?
hopefully we don't have to.
What is Lake Orion's experience with this equipment?
They love it.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
What,
Any issues?
what about maintenance and repair?
I spoke to Ian this morning and they had a repair that they needed. Actually, the tech helped him over the phone and he was able to take care of it himself. That's the only issues he's had so far.
Do they buy all this insurance?
I didn't ask him that. I'd imagine so. They have a huge budget and Ian is very cautious.
Does it make sense to pay as you go if you, instead of paying the warranties? I don't know what, I'm
I
asking you
would like
because
to-
that sounds pretty expensive to me.
It is expensive. It's expensive equipment. Also, I don't know what our budget's gonna do next year because we're back up and running. So if we pay now, at least it's taken care of.
It's like 25% of the total cost just to warranty it.
That's not very good.
I have questions.
I hope I have.
What system is it?
Terry, didn't that also cover software?
Well, yeah,
hardware updates?
somebody, David, somebody's asking a
What'd you
question.
say, Mel?
What system install? Is actually having them come out and
Yeah, they
install
will
it?
come in, actually, they will come in, break down our old system.
So this
clean it.
playback system is really $52,000. Because you gotta buy
Pretty much,
the computer or there's no point in having it.
that's
And what about, does this
48
cabling go
grand.
with
Yeah.
that?
Terry, could you explain a little bit more what the playback system does for them? Like, don't have to test it
Right.
anymore.
Right, so, and I can give you all the explanation of what the equipment does, but it will add to our capability. We will now be able to live stream. We will have video on demand. We can partner with Roku, Hulu,
Apple TV.
Apple TV, Fire Stick. We can also manage our web page from there, which for millennia we've had difficulty because there's a proprietary owner of our web page. So it'll make our entire system a lot easier and a lot easier to upgrade. Right now, I can't even upgrade our system. So I'm stuck in 2015 with the system that we have.
She's, if I'm not mistaken, the station is indicating that the immediate need is the section on the top totaling $54,200, correct?
Well, they both say immediate equipment.
That's for studio.
There's studio and then there's
Well, for the studio.
field.
This is more of a priority need than the field shoots.
Agreed.
So the 54,200 is the immediate need for the studio.
Question, Terry?
Yeah.
Is the equipment that we have now at all able to be resold to another? Or is it just junk? Is it worth anything?
It could be worth something, I guess, for a home studio or people that are doing podcasts. Yeah, I could check around in the field and see if anybody's resold their playback system. Latronics is basically, this is outdated. There's no way we can upgrade it. The company was started by a Michigan man. He's passed on. His kids really don't care about so they're not upgrading their equipment. They're not keeping up with the Joneses. So yes, it might be great for somebody that does local podcasting or something.
I'm
I
just
can
wondering if
find
we
out.
can recoup any of the cost, even if it was $1,000 or $2,000. or-
Yeah, right, and be worth looking into for sure.
At the present time, we put it in the garage as a substitute. If our new one blows out, we should come back. So,
Don't say if the new one blows out at $52,000.
sorry about that.
So who,
That would be horrible.
who installs this?
It would be Advanced Lighting,
Yeah.
the company that we've been dealing with since we bought the TriCaster.
This is who you're buying the equipment from? If you bought it?
Yes,
Yeah.
they're the.
So this
vendor.
price includes installation?
Yes, it does.
Does it include the fact that once they're done installing, you're up and running, it's good to go?
It would give me training, it would give me a certain amount of hours of training. And then I spoke with him and he said, you know, if you need to call and you need more, I can do more for you.
And where they're based out of?
Troy,
Troy.
I've dealt with him for several years now.
Yeah.
This immediate equipment need, is that all for the playback system? Is all this,
So are you talking about, no, it's not. Are you talking about for studio?
immediate equipment need for studio? Is that all
The
one?
top two are for the playback system.
And the
And
installation.
the installation, 10,000.
Well, actually, this price includes installation. That was a guesstimate on my part, so we could take that 10,000 out of there.
Is there any way we can have you guys come back with ranking on what we need?
A full proposal.
A full proposal.
With lifespans, everything, and put it in as a proposal for us to approve next meeting.
Yeah,
Just because, and you know, this $300 stuff, I would expect the manager to be able to, you know, if you need it, buy it. The 40 and 10,000 might be a little problem, but might want to bring it back. But this other stuff, if you need it, buy it.
that's fine with me.
It's only my opinion.
What's the limit you have?
If we go
1,500?
down with that playback system, if we go down, it will take at least a month before I can get it up and running again. And that's after we've found the vendor and had the vendor purchase that equipment and get us back up again. Right now, because we are running, we can purchase that system and transfer the information, which is, unbelievable amount of data and get us up and running right away. I have the equipment information for you if you'd like it.
I don't want you to read it to me. I want to see it on paper.
It's on paper. I have copies right
Okay.
here. I'll pass it all out to you.
Terry, can you clarify, you said you can take out the 10,000, I'm lost, so, I mean, that.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so there's a, on that equipment sheet,
Are you saying it just might not be 10,000, or?
it's already included in that 38,000 or 39,000.
Where did the 10,000 come from?
I said it was just an estimate on my part. I didn't get concrete figures till yesterday from them.
So that automatically went down to 44,2.
Yep,
That's better.
yes, so you can cross
Yep,
that right
got
out.
that, okay.
All right, let me give you,
Have the money in fund balance.
And the set desk and set furniture, what's that for?
because we don't have any, and we haven't for eons, so it would be for the new program that Joe wants to start. We also have a real estate program that we just started. It would be for them as well. So you can pass that along. Take yours and pass it along. That's the one I'm looking at. That's the one I'm interested in.
Is there a second one? The second bid is in there too?
This one, the bid that she gave me, you have to kind of add it all up. And I'm not going to.
Pass it down. Karen.
Her figures in.
Read to me.
So you see this, Mo? She's got all the figures in here, so you have to read it.
Okay, so why didn't you have it on?
I just didn't even put the sheet together, sorry.
So we got 10, 11, 12, 13.
More stuff.
Oh, jeez.
What are you talking about adding up?
Oh,
The
the one
second
from
bid.
Bellevue, she wrote up the bid. It's terrible, that's it. I highlighted everything, the way she wrote it up. And you're right, I should have
What is this for?
created a, that's the second piece of equipment. That's the one I'm not interested in.
Oh, this
This is
is,
the one I'm interested in.
this is the one. This is a different one.
Yes,
And how much is this total?
I think it was around 30 something, 35, something like that.
This would be Cape Gas.
My bad, I didn't
The other one
create a sheet like
$10,000.
Sean did.
Cable last second box. This is Ed's, I think.
I'm only at 16,000 with what you got highlighted.
I think that's Ed's, the minutes. I think that's Ed's.
Oh, yeah, it's on box.
Keep going.
You want me to add up things that aren't highlighted?
I got 17.5, what you had highlighted.
And then, crap, maybe I don't have that other sheet in there. Oh, all that. Because I don't think she included installation in there.
So all these other numbers, do they go in? The optional cloud service, all these in here?
Yeah, well, that's optional. So we could, if we want Roku, if we want video on demand, yes, we'd have to have the cloud service, which is $2,400 a year.
So this is 17,000 versus 40,000.
I left a sheet off somewhere because there's also an installation cost, which is 10. Yeah, my bad on that one, sorry.
I'd like to see both bid. I'm
Yeah,
not lying,
okay, I get
picking
it.
the one you like.
I get it,
If it's
fair.
close. But if it's $25,000 less, your opinion doesn't mean that much.
That's fair,
Okay.
I get it, that's fair. My bad.
I would like a better comparison.
Yeah, okay, I get it, I understand.
We'll just put together a proposal, include our bank balance, that we've got this money in the bank, think we probably need it, we probably gotta get it. But there's no point in having a cable commission.
There's what?
No point in having a cable channel. But the same with
Yep.
the field stuff, because sports are our biggest. That's what, I bet more people watch sports than anything else on cable TV.
So are we waiting another whole month?
Well, we need more.
That's my bad.
Our
Understand.
our
My bad.
information isn't
I
adequate.
understand, but she's concerned on the time.
Well,
Well, we're kind of late on our meeting this month, so we'll actually be meeting sooner, won't we? Because we don't usually meet this late in the
no,
month.
this is early.
This is early.
Oh, we met early.
Usually.
I just knew we were off tonight, because I got a board meeting at 6 o'clock.
Oh,
But I'm gonna say, I want
So-
the same information for the field shoots. You know, for that mini switcher. How many bids did you get on that?
3.
Perfect. Let me see all 3. You know, most of these, what is your dollar amount for spending 1,500?
I thought it was $3,000 or something, 3,500 or something.
Yeah, like Mr. Dunn said, if the $200 and $300 stuff, you have a limit to what you can spend
without getting it approved.
without getting approval. If you need it, you need it.
Just go get it,
Go
make sure
get
there's
it.
money in the bank.
Well, with our full budget, yeah, we serve our budgets too.
I understand you have to look at the budget, but you can also come to us for a budget amendment if you need to move money from one line item to another. But you're allowed X amount for equipment purchases per year.
Well, the media for field shoots, I mean, there's one thing that we did, a couple of things to do. If you look at the list, we do the hand mic, I need some expense for that. Lavalier mics, we need approved for that. Streaming is $2,000, we need that right now. And the mini switcher sports, $12,000. That needs to be done right now. The mini switcher, that will replace one that's about now 8 years old. We have to drag with a big old switcher, add a bit of amplifier, and we're gonna tear that down because we have to tear it up and down the press box, back and down, back to the stadium all the time, that's gonna fall down. And the new 12,000 mini switcher sports is another update thing that we really need. Joe, come talk to us for a minute as to how big that mini switcher would help for us.
I have a question on the limit, the amount.
Sure.
Are you talking cumulative or per item limit?
It's pretty much per item, because you're not supposed to be waiting a year to come out and get $70,000 worth of stuff. But in my mind, I would bet you guys purchase everything under the field shoots, except the MacBook.
I agree.
Now, the Mac case, does that go with the MacBook?
Yes.
So you don't buy the case, you buy the book. So that's 2. And then the mini switcher thing. You should always be able to go out and buy a mic,
Right.
a flag
Okay.
or a
Yep.
field light kit.
Right. I know all those, we can do those. Go ahead,
Just
Joe.
go buy them.
No, I said we will, but to get up to 649 and the lavalier mics and the streaming, I need that 2,000 for that too. Joe, take a little bit real quick about the mini switcher sports that we want the $12,000 for. We've got, go ahead.
I just want to make sure you understand, the $1,500, $649 is less than $1,500. So you can go buy that. $1,300 is less than $1,500.
Right.
You can go buy that.
Right.
It's not $1,300 plus $649.
That's great news.
So you're talking per item,
Yeah,
I know, right.
Nice.
even if it's all bought at the same place,
yeah.
Right, okay.
at the same time.
Just make sure you got the money when you write that check.
Right,
You
okay.
bounce a check, man, you guys are having yourself fast Reynoldston.
Go ahead, Joe.
So that mini switcher will give us the capability to be able to stream live anything we shoot remotely. So if we're doing the parade, Christmas parade for instance, as long as we have access to the internet from there, we can stream that live right now. Multiple cams, like almost like you would see on 247, when they're doing the Thanksgiving parade. You got a reporter over here, we're gonna take it live to, Alexis, and then we cut to Alexis and she can talk to whoever she's, introducing, and then cut back to the Wyatt Child of the Parade. I mean, it's just remarkable what's going on now with technology.
Is this an estimate or a quote from a
That's an actual
specific?
quote.
It's not real,
Mhm.
right?
They're all roughly the same. Every quote that I went to, every place except for B&H. B&H we have account with, and we're tax-free from them. We don't have to pay any taxes or shipping through them. So it's actually going to be cheaper to go through B&H, but everyone gave us roughly the same quote.
You should never pay tax.
Because we're, yeah,
Tax unitary?
nonprofit, yeah.
That's right.
So if we had a catastrophe here, the fire chief is in charge of all this. He'd be able to go down to the fire hall, set up a camera, and he'd be able to tell everybody in the neighborhood or anybody around, here's the status of where we are. You know what I'm saying? Just
Oh, yeah, it's right, live,
That's
like
the most
Facebook,
important thing to me
YouTube.
is.
Now, you said as long as you have internet.
Yes.
How do you know if you
We
have internet?
can go Wi-Fi. I could take my phone out, hotspot from my phone
Okay.
right to the device and stream that way. It's unreliable, like say if I plugged in like a landline kind of thing, that's more reliable of a source, but you are capable. of
Using the villages, like if you're doing the parade, you're using the villages Wi-Fi that they have to run it through downtown?
Yeah.
It's spotty, so last year we tried to do the graduation from high school live stream, and because their signal wasn't strong enough, it dropped out, which infuriated a lot of grandparents, but it wasn't our equipment, it was,
So where do you get the Wi-Fi from if you're downtown?
Hotspot.
You could hotspot right from
you
your
get a
phone.
hotspot.
Well, you can do anything. I mean, where do you get it from?
Well, like with the school or here, for instance, they put a switcher in here. We can actually take Ethernet cable, plug it into our device. Plug it
That
in.
I understand here, but if you're
Evergreens.
downtown filming the parade, where are you
Evergreens.
getting the Wi-Fi?
Evergreens has a
Whoever
Wi-Fi.
has the Wi-Fi signal that we could.
Anybody downtown that's
Use.
got Wi-Fi,
Yep.
we can tap into it.
That doesn't answer my question. Who's anybody?
Evergreens.
Evergreen?
I'll tell you, we can do it at Evergreens.
Coffee shop.
Do these people allow you to have access to the Wi-Fi?
We'd have to have access, yes.
Oh, sure.
Well, we can check it
Yeah.
out with them, sure.
Someone downtown's gonna let
Of
them
course they
record the
will.
Well, I'm just asking the question. I mean, they're gonna need Wi-Fi. Where are they getting it from?
And the
If
fire
we
hall
did it
probably
for
has
24th
Wi-Fi.
Street, anybody that has Wi-Fi downtown, we would, certainly that's part of what we have to do to prep ahead of time, is to find out who has Wi-Fi, get permission from them to do it and use it, and we'd probably have a number of takers.
Go to the tavern.
People like us to cover the events and.
Exactly, all the bars have Wi-Fi.
The worst case scenario, you can always use your phone. Everyone has, as long as your provider allows you to hotspot, you can send a signal right from your telephone.
And actually, you can put a couple phones together and get a stronger
Stronger
signal.
signal, yeah.
And the MacBook streaming, that's where the village and town, that's from that 2000 for that, right?
Yes.
I would like to add, with that cable cast system that I like, we can do live emergencies. I can do it from my home.
Right.
We can be having a tornado, and on my phone, I can warn everybody online, or on the air,
Right.
that we're having a tornado, or the fire chief wants us to clear 24. Also, it's got a bulletin board feature that the chief could tap into and give people updates constantly on what's going on at the fire department. Brian could tap into it, only that section, they only have their own zones. Brian could tap in, let everybody know what's going on at the library. You could tap in, tell everybody what's going on in the village. I mean, it's more community interactive than what we have right now.
Right, and we
Right now,
don't-
you have to call me and I have to go to the studio, type whatever you want, and you've done it with me before, and then keep it on. I gotta go back to the studio and take it down after 2 hours. It's not as user-friendly.
And you guys can do it remotely on your own. Like if you wanted to say, hey, we're having an emergency meeting today at 7 p.m., you could upload it right to our device and go right to the television or anything we're broadcasting from. If we were broadcasting live, you could tap into that and it would be displayed there
To notify us?
to notify the public
Oh, the public?
or
Oh,
anybody, or
yeah,
if you, yeah, anybody, yeah.
Okay.
Are you also including Addison and Leonard in that?
Of course.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
just asked.
yeah.
All the communities that we
Oh,
cover,
definitely.
absolutely.
So we don't have a mini switch now.
We do not. We have a TriCaster that's in the studio, and it's basically the same thing, but smaller and more of a remote device. It actually has a hard drive. This is computer-based, and the monitor is on the hard drive. Like it's all encompassed into this one small unit that's very accessible anywhere.
Like a suitcase.
Yeah, and it's very small. It's probably, you know, I would say, you know, 2.5 foot by 18 inches or so.
What we're using right now for sports is 3 cameras are connected. It is a switcher, but it's nothing, it's very.
Like you said, we have an amplifier
antique.
that's
Gotcha.
like
Not
3
cellular.
foot by probably 24, and that's just the amplifier. That's not even the device, the switcher itself. That's just the amplifier.
So you're having to haul a lot more equipment than you would have to if you went upgraded to
Oh,
what?
yeah, absolutely.
Well, and
Let's
again,
get
you
over.
cannot, this is impossible to upgrade. It's just, you can't make it any better than what it is.
How much is this system?
It's 12,000.
I haven't bought it yet.
And you got 3 quotes, right?
Yes.
Approved today, we'll buy it tomorrow.
Do you have the quotes with you?
Do we have them with us, Dave?
Dave, did you put them in the packet?
Okay, so next month, we want her 2 bids for the playback, your 3 bids. I don't have a problem with any of this equipment. But you gotta ask, you gotta provide the right bid stuff.
Need the paperwork.
Yeah.
You sound angry with them.
Well, I think this isn't their first time at the rodeo. I
You still don't
think,
have to be
This is
nasty.
my first time trying to buy a $40,000 piece of equipment, and it is.
Yeah, that
So
playback
I'm
system.
sorry, I
is-
didn't include that last sheet. I will get it to you, I
Oh,
promise.
we don't care about past, talk about the future. Just have it next month and
yeah.
I'll have
we'll
it.
be
We'll have
rocking and rolling.
That playback system is basically the backbone. When
So-
I came in, I was like, wow, I can't believe it's still running. To be honest with you, when I came in, I was surprised.
I would propose you do this. Get your ducks in a row on this other quote. And if it's close to this, apples to apples, then you guys are the one running the TV station. If you feel that this is the system to go with, and I support your argument
Whether
about,
it's close or not,
pardon me?
whether it's close or not,
No, you're gonna let me finish.
okay,
If
I'm confused.
If the quotes are apples to apples within reason, I'm talking a couple $1,000 maybe. I'm not, this is, based on what I added up, it's $17,000.
Plus 10.
So if you get your ducks in a row with this one and it compares to this one in cost, pretty close, this is the one you prefer, and I support your arguments of why you prefer it. I would get the wheels in motion for this while you're waiting for us to approve it. I know, don't commit to anything, but get the balls rolling so you can get this moving.
Yeah.
And then when you come back to us with everything done properly, then we approve it, then you can keep going. You've already got the wheels in motion, because the way you guys talked when I was there, you said this thing you're on life support.
We are.
It is.
Yeah, it's
We
definitely
are.
on its last leg. I would say, like when I came in, I couldn't believe it because they're actually, you know, it's standard def. Like we shoot in high definition. We come in, we put it in our editing program, and I shoot it out into the world into a smaller format. Like I'm downgrading to upload it, and this way where we're gonna go right from. So if I could break it down, like we're looking at standard definition, which is like 20 years ago. When I first got in this industry, we were moving to HD. And that's 20 years ago, you know, and they're broadcasting standard definition, which is that's beyond me. Like I'm like, wow, this stuff, a lot of it's old, man. It's really old. And
I think the board is supportive of your needs for this stuff. They just would like to have something to look at to support.
$10,000. The sheet that says $10,000 for setup is what you're looking for. That's what's missing. Yep. The $10,000
You need
for
to
setup.
provide it, because,
I will.
you know,
I got it.
Maureen made a statement that said, you're looking at 17,000 versus 40. I'd have to, unless you can convince me otherwise, I'd have to seriously consider the 17, but.
Show me what the differences are. Show me why this one's
The difference
garbage.
is the setup. I'm just letting you know that right now. The difference is the setup. I left out the $10,000 setup sheet. That's the difference. So that's the difference.
she means like the difference between the two models that we're looking at. Like the one that we like gives us it gives us the ability to do the smart TV. So you go on your smart TV, you can download the OCTV app
Both of them.
onto your phone, onto your television, you know, and you can watch it at your leisure. The other one doesn't give you that, does it?
Yes, it does.
If that's okay with it, I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
You tell me what the differences are. Tell me why it would be like this, other than the fact that Orion's got and Clark's got, I get that. Because it's always easier to use what your neighbor uses, because then you can, hey, what'd you do with this? How'd you do this? But give me the other differences, because apparently we're still at 13,000.
Okay, so,
Don't tell me.
oh no, I'm
Write it down.
asking, I want clarification, because to me, they both do the same thing. What tipped the scales, and I even talked with Ian in Lake Orion about this today, and he asked me what tips the scales. The scale was tipped because I know 4 people already that use it.
$13,000 difference because you know 4 people.
Yeah,
I don't know that that's good enough
because
for me.
training, yeah, and running that system is huge. I don't want to mess it up.
You said the other system was easier, simpler.
It is a simpler, they're both very, very complicated. You have to understand that. Cablecast is a little bit simpler, yes. But as far as equipment is concerned and capabilities are concerned, there's no difference. Except for the price.
We can keep beating this horse for a while.
Yeah,
You know,
I just want clarification on what you need. I got it. I got it. I'll get it to
I
you.
know Karen's got a meeting she gotta get to.
I'm fine, live down the street.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Why don't we table the 3-year plan to the next meeting, because I got a funny feeling that after what we just discussed, this might have changed with some of these.
Set it aside or table it?
And I do want to know
Set it aside
the
or
life
table it?
expectancies of the equipment. Just
Okay.
what they, yeah, I don't want to know in 3 years we gotta buy another playback machine.
With technology, the way it is now,
Exactly.
it may be a month later. You know, you buy a TV and all of a
Depends on
sudden.
the architecture of the computer itself.
Yeah, my concern isn't so much that the technology might be yesterday, it's the fact that the equipment itself is not gonna function. Because if it's old, if it's old technology and it still functions, that's one thing. If it drops off and doesn't function anymore, then you're dead in the water here. With that playback machine. That's my concern. You guys have told me when I met with you that you're on life support with it.
Still are.
And if it goes down, it's a problem.
Oh, it sure is.
Huge.
So,
But why are we hearing about it now?
well,
You have been
We've
hearing
heard
about it
about
for
it.
many
Yeah.
years. I've been talking about it since I've been working
I
with
think,
that system.
like
and
I
that's
said
at
before,
least
when
7.
Elgin around, it was a kind of a safety valve because he knew his way around this stuff. Elgin's not around anymore. All right,
Hey, I'm sorry, before we move on.
yes.
In regards to the 3-year replacement goal, just so we don't get back next month and then go, well, why don't we have this, or why don't we have, do we have a list of all the equipment, like an inventory of all the equipment here, and then like what a lifespan is of each item? Therefore, we know in 5 years, this is this, 3 years is this, you know, like, I see like here a 3-year goal, a generator, okay, but what's the lifespan of a generator? So then is it the next 3, like, I guess do you
Yeah, that
follow
makes
where
sense.
my logic is going? Like,
Yeah, I do.
like
Yeah.
3 years, this is great, we're gonna need another 6, but then in 3 years after that, what,
Right.
like, maybe I'm missing it because I haven't been on the board that long, but is there like an equipment list that we have?
We have a list. I don't know how long it's the long.
Well, I
Doesn't
think
have
you
a
need to put
lifespan on
I understand what you're saying, and I completely support that. But you don't want a list of a $200 microphone,
No, I'm talking large items,
large items.
things that are thousands of dollars.
Yeah, okay, right.
But you know, I don't know, maybe there's not that many things, maybe it's this big playback equipment and then we've got, generators are expensive.
Yeah.
And this
I
other
like to
stuff.
sit down with, or you guys can sit down with Ron and discuss the generator. Maybe there's a dual, we can acquire that.
Does he have a generator?
Is there a generator on the building?
I don't think so.
No, I'm saying, why buy one for us, and maybe we can split the cost and buy one for the entire building.
That makes sense.
Doesn't, it makes
Because
more,
the size of
Pardon?
it,
Yeah,
because
but
of
it
the
would be
size?
substantially cheaper for us to pay a third, or, I don't know, what,
Rob was
if
talking about it a couple of years ago. He was talking about that for a building in the studio. He was talking.
I would like,
generator
I would like you to sit down with Ron before you even consider
Right.
bringing that proposal to us, because that might be a lot cheaper going that route. It makes more sense, one generator for the entire building than for us to piece it off.
Fine. So, to answer your question, yes, there's a list. No, there's not a life
No.
expectancy on any of that equipment. It wouldn't hurt to go through it and look at it, no, you're right.
I'm just thinking like, I don't know, kind of like a rolling budget
Yeah.
of equipment cost. I mean,
Agreed.
you look to 1 to 2 to 3 to 10 years, because in 10 years, you're probably gonna be talking about replacing the playback system.
Yeah,
again.
right?
So then you're like, okay, well then if you've got a budget for this, and then you can really look at what the budget should be for equipment
Yeah,
specifically.
I
The
agree,
equipment rental sheets from the state
I agree.
on how
So, can I talk about
big up
the fact that we do have that money in there? It's making people rattle, that we don't need the
Chad,
money.
wait a minute, there's Chad.
Well, please,
The state puts out an equipment rental sheet every year that lists, for depreciation purposes, life expectancy of equipment. We use it at the village, Pete uses it at the fire station. I would bet there's something out there for cable equipment. You know, your playback, the depreciation expectancy is 12 years. So that's what you figure on.
So by the time 12 years hits, you better have that much money in the bank to be able to just
Exactly.
purchase it.
Right.
That's
So
why
I'm-
I'm talking about a rolling equipment
Yeah,
budget
yeah.
for like everything.
so the state puts that out?
The state puts it out.
For municipal equipment.
Right,
Right.
Joe Young might have a contact name in our book that you can call the Equipment and Cable Commission. I don't know what equipment Bill has that they might use it for. Parks and Rec probably has it.
Oakland County has a video
We don't have
department.
equipment,
Well, Parks and Rec doesn't, they've got pickup trucks.
but that's Park and Rec, we don't.
Right, well, that's what I said, Parks and Rec might have.
I could check with Oakland County because they do have a video department.
Okay,
I'll check. So, getting back to the amount of money that we have in the bank, that's making people say, if they have that much money, why are we giving them franchise fees?
Right.
If you guys would explain to your boards, number one, it's because for a year and a half, we didn't have all the events that we should have. I mean, we didn't even cover the Christmas parade last year, which we used full staff, which we don't have, for a huge amount of time. It's not just shooting that parade for 3 hours. It's shooting that parade for 3 hours with at least 6 people and then a week of editing. So there's a lot involved that we weren't able to do last year. So we have a big chunk of money, plus we didn't have a huge staff to pay. So there's money in there. If you would explain to your board, we're finally at a point where we can start buying equipment, we would really appreciate that. That money is not just sitting there and why give them their franchise fees. We still need to function. And the community wants us here. I know there's a lot of board members that go, you know, there's only 5 people looking at Facebook. That's Facebook. Then we have YouTube. We also have Rumble. And then we also have AT&T and Charter. Plus, this system, the Cablecast system, will be able to track who is watching on AT&T and Charter. First time I've been doing this since 1998, and none of the cable stations will give numbers as to who's watching. It's a competition thing. So this is the first time in my lifetime I've ever even heard that that's possible. And so I'm really excited to see how many numbers we're getting on TV as well. Our YouTube numbers are going down, and I have a feeling it's because people are watching it on Facebook. But there are numbers. The numbers are out there. And the people, everybody we talk to in this community that knows there's a television station here are excited that there is one here. We cover stuff that would not get covered by Channel 2, 4, or 7. So those meager franchise fees that we do get from the other public access television stations are really important to all of us, and they're important to the community. And I know that you look at 300, the number 300 people watching in the village, that's a huge amount of people, really, that we're able to keep track of. That's people that are watching what we're doing. They're watching what you're doing as a board. and I'm done, I'm off my soapbox, but I'm so scared when people keep saying, well, you got $200,000 in the bank. You should see what Oregon's bank account looks like. 200,000 is not going to get us very far to cover this community, to continue to pay people, and to buy the equipment we need to cover these communities. Not just this one, but all 4 of them. I'm done, I'm sorry.
Thanks, Suzanne.
Soapbox. I'm just desperate, you know.
Well, I'll bring the 3-year plan back up at the
I will.
next meeting, because I want to go back. I think we're going to have to review some of the items in there and relook at that.
Yeah, I will.
All right, committee reports. Well, technical committee, I think this is kind of hashed that out for a while.
Over.
Personnel committee, any information or input from Maureen or Charlene, or? Hey, you're not still on that, are you? Who's on that? You, right?
I think Karen
Oh,
did
Karen.
a little bit. I don't know if we ever put her on it, but she helped.
We gotta
Well, you
change
went to
that.
her instead of to me, so it just seemed better for me to just get off the committee.
Well, she had the form.
I understand. Oh,
Do you mind participating in
I
that?
don't mind.
Okay, if it becomes a problem, let me know.
It's a burden. It's a.
Dave, can
Then
you
I'm
make
out.
that change on that, please?
Pardon?
Make the change on that for the future?
Did you hear?
Commissioner comments, Maureen,
I have nothing.
Mr. Dunn,
Nothing?
Charlene.
I do have something to say. I appreciate what our people at the cable are doing, and I recognize that it's a constant struggle. And I thank you for all the years that I've been able to be a part of this commission, as this is my last meeting.
What?
Oh, whoa.
I'm moving, and I will be gone before you have another meeting.
Crap.
So-
This is your last meeting?
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, congratulations and,
Are you moving someplace fun?
Oh, Mike, yes.
Oh, I like Hope Lake. That's a nice area.
Well, it's only a couple hours away.
Yeah, so further, I'm gonna come to a meeting. I get nothing from the Village of Leonard for coming now.
Has your replacement been named yet?
No, it has not been addressed, so
Have you resigned from?
I will in October. So, this is my last
Oh,
official.
I have to go
We're
home.
gonna miss you, Char. You're the big supporter we've had for the
Yeah.
station. We've gonna miss you a lot.
Well, thank you, I appreciate that, and I'm gonna miss you guys. I've enjoyed working with you.
Crap.
Shoot.
Then
That's it. I'm
Karen?
No comment, just that we'll miss you.
Thank you.
I miss her already.
Yeah, I want to say that it's been a pleasure serving with you. It's been an honor, and you've provided me with some input over the years for direction and the advice I needed, and I really was grateful for you being here.
Well, let me say, this is one of the nicest boards I've had the privilege of working with, and over the years, there's been some scary times, and this has been a good board.
Yeah, and I just want to say to the station personnel that I think tonight the board has implied that they're willing to work with you on all these expenditures. I think just giving the board a little bit more detail on what you're looking to purchase, and I think you'll be fine. I realize you don't want to wait another meeting, but we have to be answering to the public, and I think we need to do it right. Anyways,
If there's no other comments, whoops, public comment.
No.
I move to adjourn.
Support.
Your second.
I have a motion and it's been supported. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.